Imagine you are sitting at a quiet coffee shop on a Tuesday morning. You see a man at the next table wearing a faded cotton t-shirt and simple jeans. He drives a 10-year-old Honda that has a few small scratches on the bumper. He checks his phone occasionally, but looks completely at peace with the world. You would never guess that this man has over $2 million invested in diversified assets. He is not worried about a single bill or a price tag in over 15 years. Now contrast this with the person you see on your social media feed. They are posting photos from a luxury resort in the Maldives. They are wearing a designer watch and driving a brand new European sports car. But behind the scenes, that person is 3 months behind on their high-interest credit card payments. They wake up every morning with a heavy knot of anxiety in their stomach. This is the fundamental trap of the modern world. Real wealth does not look like wealth. The richest people you will ever meet have habits that are incredibly boring and quiet. They do not waste their precious energy trying to prove their success to total strangers. They have built systems and mindsets that compound silently in the background. Today, we are going to examine 8 specific habits that separate the quietly wealthy from everyone else. These are the strategies used by those who value freedom over status and security over attention. Habit number 9 is the absolute automation of their financial life. Quietly wealthy people are strategically lazy when it comes to repetitive tasks. They know that human willpower is a limited resource that fades by the end of the day. Instead of deciding to save money every month, they build a system that does it for them. The moment their income hits their bank account, it is immediately divided into specific soldiers. A portion flows automatically into a high-quality index fund. Another chunk feeds an emergency fund that stays untouched for years. Their utility bills and mortgage payments are handled by software without any human intervention. This eliminates the emotional struggle of choosing between a new gadget and a secure future. By automating their discipline, they protect themselves from their own temporary impulses. Wealth grows silently when your money moves in the right direction without you having to lift a finger. Stop relying on your motivation and start building a permanent system. Habit number 9 is buying less, but spending with much higher intelligence. There is a common misconception that wealthy people are simply cheap. In reality, they are highly strategic about where every dollar goes. They understand the true cost of an item over its entire lifetime. A quietly wealthy person will gladly spend $400 on a pair of leather boots. They do this because they know those boots will last for 15 years of daily use. They see this as a far better deal than buying $50 shoes that fall apart in 6 months. They apply this logic to everything from kitchen appliances to the cars they drive. They value function over flash and longevity over temporary trends. They are not looking for the quick hit of dopamine that comes from a new purchase. They are looking for the long-term peace of mind that comes from owning quality tools. Every purchase is viewed as a long-term investment in their quality of life. Habit number 10 is an absolute obsession with net worth instead of just income. Most people in society brag about how much money they earn every year, but income is merely the speed at which money flows into your life. If you earn $200,000 but spend $205,000, you are poor. Quietly wealthy people focus on what remains after all the bills and debts are gone. They track their total assets and their total liabilities with extreme precision. They understand that their net worth is the only true measure of their financial strength. They no longer care about winning the spending competition on their neighborhood block. Their only goal is to reach the point where their assets produce enough cash to fund their life. Once your net worth hits a certain level, you no longer need to trade your hours for dollars. That is the exact moment when real life and real freedom finally begin. Stop asking yourself how much you earn and start asking what you actually keep. Habit number 11 is thinking in decades instead of just waiting for the next paycheck. Most people are trapped in a cycle of thinking 30 days at a time. Quietly wealthy people have a much longer horizon for every decision they make. They understand the mathematical power of compound growth over long periods of time. When they look at a potential investment, They ask what it will look like in the year 2035. This perspective makes it very easy to say no to expensive vacations they cannot afford today. They are perfectly comfortable delaying their gratification for a few years. They know that a sacrifice made in their younger years buys them total freedom in their later years. Compound growth is not flashy or exciting in the beginning, but over 2 or 3 decades, it becomes an unstoppable force of nature. They do not fear missing out on the latest crypto trend or the hottest stock tip. They only fear missing out on long-term peace and financial abundance. Habit number 9 is building multiple layers of income that you never see. Quietly wealthy people understand that a single paycheck is a dangerous tightrope. Relying on one source of income is like walking over a canyon with no safety net. They spend their spare time building secondary and tertiary streams of revenue. This might start with simple dividend-paying stocks or a small rental property. Later, it might grow into a small digital business or a private lending arrangement. The goal is not to become a workaholic who never sleeps. The goal is to get your money to work even when you are on vacation or asleep. Each stream of income supports the other layers like a stone wall. If one stream dries up due to a bad economy, the other layers keep the foundation solid. They start small and stay patient until the momentum takes over. Habit number 7 is resisting the urge to inflate their lifestyle when their income rises. This is the most common reason why high earners stay broke for their entire lives. The moment they get a raise at work, they buy a bigger house or a faster car. This is a silent killer of wealth that keeps you on the professional treadmill forever. Quietly wealthy people have already built a life that they truly enjoy. When their income increases, their basic spending stays exactly the same. But the vast majority of that extra money goes directly into their investment accounts. Every lifestyle upgrade often comes with a hidden long-term price tag. By keeping their life simple, they maintain a massive margin of safety. This margin is what allows them to stay calm when everyone else is panicking. When the stock market crashes or the economy enters a recession, most people act on fear. They sell their assets at the bottom and make emotional mistakes that destroy their future. But the quietly wealthy have prepared for these moments for years in advance. They have healthy emergency funds and very low levels of debt. They do not need to sell their investments to pay for their groceries. Instead of reacting with panic, they respond with cold and calculated logic. They zoom out and look at the history of the markets over the last 100 years. They know that every crisis is eventually followed by a recovery and a new peak. This emotional control is a valuable financial skill that cannot be taught in a classroom. It is the reason they stay rich, while others are forced to start over from zero. Habit number 10 is measuring their success by options instead of by possessions. This is the most important shift in mindset you can ever make. Quietly wealthy people do not care about the brand of their car or the size of their television. They measure their wealth by what they can choose not to do. The person with a garage full of luxury cars but huge debt has 0 options in life. If they lose their job for 1 month, their entire world will fall apart. But the person with a modest home and $1 million in the bank has total freedom. They can walk away from a toxic boss or a stressful environment tomorrow morning. They can spend 6 months traveling or helping a family member in a crisis. They can make every decision based on what they want instead of what they need to survive. True wealth is not a collection of expensive things that clutter your house. True wealth is a collection of meaningful choices that improve your soul. Your assignment for today is to take a very honest inventory of your life. Do not look at your possessions or the items in your closet. Look at your options. Could you survive for 1 year without a paycheck if you had to? Could you help a loved one in a medical emergency without checking your bank balance? If the answer is no, then you are not building real wealth yet. You are simply accumulating stuff while the clock of your life is ticking away. These shifts in habits do not happen overnight. They are small and boring changes that you make every single day. But if you follow them long enough, you will wake up one day and realize you are free. And the best part is that nobody will even notice except for you. You will have the ultimate prize, which is a quiet and abundant life.